Well, hey guys, happy Vlogmas Day 24. It's almost over. You're watching me today. It's Christmas Eve, so hope you guys are enjoying your holiday. I filmed this video in advance so I could give myself a little bit of time to kind of chill and be still with the uploading and editing. I need to get this video up to you guys because it is long overdue, and that is my seasonal skincare empties. I try and do one of these videos at the end of every season. So this is my fall skincare empties of 2018. Yeah, I've reviewed a lot of products for you guys over the past few months, so I haven't used everything that I've reviewed up. It doesn't mean that I no longer like it or it's bad. I just only have one stratum corneum to put stuff on, so I can only go through and finish up what I can. My skincare routine that I filmed and shared with you guys, my winter skincare routine, is still exactly what I'm doing. Nothing has changed in that. So, do know I'm still using those products, and that's what I'm using consistently. Yes, I am still using tretinoin, but let's just get into the empties because I have quite a few of them in my arsenal. First up is the, I'll just try and go through the sunscreens, is the Clinique Broad Spectrum SPF 50. This is a mineral sunscreen that I largely use to reapply sunscreen as a reapplication sunscreen throughout the day. I didn't ever really use this in the morning as my base layer sunscreen, but it's really nice in that it is a liquid vehicle, so it is easy to apply. For those of you who wear a lot of makeup, my understanding is it blends well with foundations and that kind of thing. It goes on underneath them well. It doesn't cause them to pill up. It is a mineral sunscreen, so that's wonderful. It gives very good UVB and UVA coverage. This does leave a white cast. I always see it when I edit. I always know when I've reapplied this when I'm editing my videos, because even though like when I put it on, I don't necessarily appreciate the cast. When I'm editing, I'm like, oh gosh, that's a Clinique cast. This one definitely does leave a cast. The nice thing about this facial sunscreen, in addition to it being a mineral sunscreen giving good UVB and UVA coverage, mineral sunscreens can also give a little bit of coverage depending on the size of the particles against blue light, which can contribute to hyperpigmentation. But this sunscreen has iron oxides in it. Iron oxides also can help protect against that blue light. But unlike most iron oxide containing sunscreens, this one does not have a tint. So for those of you who don't want a tinted sunscreen, this is a good choice. It is expensive, however, and honestly for me, aside from the addition of the iron oxides, I did not find that just the aesthetics of it were any better than the Neutrogena Pure and Free Liquid sunscreen that I reviewed for you guys. That is also fragrance free. I found that the cast was similar, and they're both liquid sunscreens, mineral based. I think that's a much more affordable one. If you like this one, I would say give that one a try. I get questions about the Clinique Mineral Body Sunscreen, if that can be used as a dupe for this on the face. The Clinique Mineral Body Sunscreen is not exactly the same as this. That one is SPF 30, this one's 50. 30 is a good SPF for a facial sunscreen. That one is a lotion vehicle, whereas this is a liquid that you actually shake up, and so it's a liquid consistency. So the consistencies are different. Those caveats aside, however, you can use that one on the face. It works well. I've used it that way. It's a lot more moisturizing than this one. This one will dry a lot more quickly than that one on the face. So for example, if you're somebody who puts on makeup and you don't really have a whole lot of time to allow the sunscreen to dry, this will dry a lot faster. Likewise, this, because it dries faster, it's a lot easier to reapply throughout the day than that SPF 30 mineral body sunscreen. But yes, you definitely can use that one on the face, and it contains iron oxides. So the differences are it's more moisturizing, takes longer to dry, a lower SPF, but more affordable. So yes, you can use that body one, but not exactly the same product. At least the one that I am familiar with. So the next sunscreen that I finished was the SPF 30 sunscreen by Cetaphil, the Pro Derma Control Oil Absorbing Moisturizer. I'm really glad I used this and gave it a try. This is a sunscreen that gets a lot of hype in the dermatology literature. A lot of dermatologists who do a lot of the industry-sponsored acne studies have looked at this and report really good outcomes with this particular sunscreen in people with acne. This has some really interesting ingredients. It is a chemical sunscreen, and the chemical filters in this are the typical chemical filters in US sunscreen. Avobenzone for UVA and UVB, and some others for UVB as well. This particular sunscreen uses something called oleosomes to kind of encapsulate those chemical filters and allow for slow release of them, and it also stabilizes them. So that's good that it gives them some stability. As you know, sunscreens, particularly avobenzone, aren't photostable, so when you go outside they actually start degrading upon exposure of UV and you start losing that protection. So the oleosome technology or whatever theoretically keeps those staying around a little bit longer than if this were formulated without them. It's not the same as Helioplex in the Neutrogenas. That's avobenzone complexed with oxybenzone to stabilize it. This is just kind of a different encapsulation of the filter, so just a different technology. And so the reason why that's helpful is that it allows them to get away with using fewer filters to achieve the SPF 30 in this. So it makes this potentially a sunscreen that will sting and irritate less. However, personally, I didn't find that to be the case. I didn't find that this was really stingy, but around my eyes it actually did sting a little bit. Less so than the Neutrogena ones, but it's SPF 30. A lot of the Neutrogena ones that sting me are SPF 50. So I don't know that the low sting, low irritation holds true to as much. There is a little bit of a sting. So if you have sensitive acne-prone skin, you'll probably still find that this stings. Just based on my personal experience and the feedback that I've gotten in the comments, I don't think the oleosomes are entirely foolproof. This one also has hydroxypalmitoyl sphingosine, which is a ceramide precursor. They're not the same as like a fully formed ceramide, but ceramide precursors applied topically to the skin have been shown to help the skin kick off its own ceramide synthesis. So it's kind of like a, hey, make some more ceramides type clue. So this has that in it. It doesn't have ceramides though, like CeraVe, which can help restore potentially even more expeditiously. So I was motivated for that because a barrier defect in people with oily prone skin and acne prone skin is often under addressed. So the addition of precursor ceramide is a logical ingredient to address that barrier defect, that barrier component. This also has beta-glycerretinic acid. I have a hard time saying that. That is derived from licorice root extract, so it is an anti-inflammatory compound. It can be helpful for some of the redness associated with acne. And this also has starch in it, which can wick up oil. So there are actually acne studies looking at this particular sunscreen and showing that it decreases objective measures of sebum are decreased with use of this in comparison to other moisturizers in people with acne. They used kind of similar to what I talked about with the bentonite clay assays. They used something similar to that to measure sebum, and they showed that there was actually an objective decrease in oiliness, shininess, as well as a subjective one from participants when they use this. However, Dr. J's channel comments do not corroborate those study findings. You guys say that this still makes you look oily and greasy and shiny. In my personal experience, I didn't notice any difference in the degree of shine on my forehead in comparison to this to any of the other thousands of sunscreens out there that I've used. But I'm not sure how many of those that I use have starch in them, and maybe that's as good as it gets. But suffice it to say, I didn't mind this one. I used it up, and it's pretty good. A little pricey, but no cast and low sting. So for those of you out there who don't have a problem with chemical sunscreens and have oily prone skin, give this one a try and let me know what you think. I personally enjoyed it, but wouldn't necessarily repurchase it. And yeah. And then the sunscreen that I use every morning as my base layer sunscreen and love and adore is the Elta UV Sport Broad Spectrum SPF 50. This is water resistant, very moisturizing. Some of you guys in the comments have mentioned that you find this makes you look too greasy and shiny. It definitely does give a shine. I will give it that. It is shiny. If you don't like the shine, try the Elta UV Clear. It does not have a shine to it. It is not water resistant. I think it's that water resistance with this that really makes it emollient and gleam. Also, along the lines of sunscreens you guys have said make you look oily and shiny, and honestly on some days I have kind of noticed that personally, but still love it and strongly recommend it, is the Altruist SPF 50. This is, I get this on Amazon UK, so you have to pay substantial uptick in fees if you want it in the United States. But for those of you in Europe, I believe is widely available. I know in the UK, it's a UK sunscreen. This is an affordable choice, and those of you in the UK, you guys always comment enthusiastically about this. Americans are less enthused, I think, because they feel jilted from paying the uptick in processing fees with Amazon, maybe, but yeah, I really like it. It's a chemical sunscreen, has filters that are not approved here in the States that offer really reliable protection against UVB and UVA. This is sensitive skin friendly, acne prone skin friendly. It's a great one. I strongly recommend it, and finished up a bottle of it. Then I also finished up a tube of the HydroLabo Perfect UV Gel SPF 50 PA++++. This is also a wonderful chemical Japanese sunscreen chemical. This contains alcohol in it, as do most of the Japanese sunscreens that have different filters in them, and that is by and large to stabilize those filters. Alcohol is not a bad ingredient, but if you have rosacea prone skin, sensitive skin, it can sting quite a bit. I never have found that to be the case with the HydroLabo one. The one that I actually can visibly detect, like perceptibly notice the alcohol, but I liked personally and finished up, is the Ali Extra UV Gel. This is another Japanese chemical sunscreen that I've recommended to you guys before. It is water resistant and leaves no cast. It has, let me double check some of the ingredients here. It has tinosorb in it, and it has zinc and octinoxate and uvinol. So very broad spectrum. No cast associated with this, despite the zinc, which is giving you UVB and UVA. It's a wonderful one. I really enjoyed using it. It does have quite a bit of alcohol in it though, or the smell of the alcohol is perceptible. While this doesn't necessarily make you look greasy, it kind of leaves this odd waxy appearance to the skin. I can't describe it. It almost gives you that Madame Tussauds look, like a wax figure. So yeah, I really like this. Very emollient despite that alcohol. I think they did a good job with this one. It has hydrolyzed collagen in it, so it's got some great humectants, and I believe it also has dimethicone in it, I want to say, as an occlusive. So this is a good one. It shouldn't cause acne prone skin to flare. It will sting though, those of you with rosacea, I imagine. Then a similar product is the Kanebo UV Gel Media. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll list it down below. I get my Japanese sunscreens on Yes Style, by the way. Found them to be excellent, very reliable. It takes a little bit of time to get them, but worth the wait. And that has been my go-to. But the UV Gel, the Kanebo UV Gel, this is SPF 50 PA++++. This is a zinc. This has zinc in it for UVB, UVA. It has uvinol T150. It has uvinol A+ for UVA1 and UVA2. It has tinosorb S in it for UVA1, UVA2, and UVB. Very good broad spectrum sunscreen. This is supposed to be like a base layer underneath your makeup, like a makeup primer almost. I really enjoyed this. I do not detect the alcohol in this, although it is present. I didn't detect it like I did in the Kanebo, the water resistant one, the UV Gel, the extra. So this is a little bit more expensive though, as far as the amount that you get. I went through this pretty quickly. Then I also finished up the PCA Skin Weightless Protection Broad Spectrum SPF 45. This is a combination sunscreen. It has zinc and octinoxate in it. So zinc for UVB and UVA, and octinoxate is a chemical filter for UVB. This is great. It's identical as far as its formula, as far as how it goes on. It is identical to Elta MD UV Clear. I can't tell a difference. So, you know, if you like UV Clear, you'll probably like this one. I have nothing bad to say about it, other than it's expensive. Did I make my way through? I finished up Miss Leah's Beat the Sun Crave Sunscreen. Love this one. This is very similar to the HydroLabo one, by the way. Aside from the beet extract in this, which I mentioned in my review of that, I wasn't too certain as to the utility of that, but I didn't have any problems with this one, and definitely felt like it was a good one for for oily prone skin, acne prone skin. Again, the caveat with the rosacea and the alcohol is in this, so that might sting you a little bit and burn, but I didn't find this to be a stingy one whatsoever, and did not make me look greasy. I definitely would repurchase this one. You can get this in the States. It's just not labeled as a sunscreen, because the filters in this are those filters that are in all these other Asian sunscreens that I've reviewed for you guys, and the Altruist. They are not approved to be used as sunscreen ingredients in the States, so to get around that, she did not call it a sunscreen. But it's the same product as far as I know. The ingredients are the same. So you can get this in the States, and you don't have to pay out of country, you know, whatever, taxes and all that. All of those exorbitant fees. So it's a good one. I recommend it. Alright, and then a viewer sent this to me, and I finished it up, so thank you to the viewer who sent it to me. It is the Ocean Potion Sun Care Face Clear Zinc Oxide. This is wonderful. It is a broad spectrum combination sunscreen, SPF 50. This is water resistant. This does leave a cast. When I was wearing this before daylight savings time, because when I go to the gym it'd still be daylight out, and there are windows in my gym, so I would put this on before going to the gym, and it did leave a cast, but like I don't care. It's like me and like a family that works out in my gym, so you know they're used to seeing me like rocking a white face when I try out different sunscreens for you guys. This does leave a cast, but this is great if you are outdoors for a prolonged period of time. This is a good one to choose. It's water resistant and gives very good broad spectrum coverage. So thank you to the viewer who sent it to me. It doesn't contain anything that is likely to cause irritation or stinging, aside from the octocrylene in this, which is the UVB filter. That might bother some people, but otherwise this is fantastic, and I really loved it. Alright, and then moving along to moisturizers. I didn't technically finish this up, but it's empty by accident. This is the Neutrogena Hydraboost Extra Dry Sensitive Skin I reviewed for you guys. This I love and still recommend it. Check out that review video. But this illustrates a problem with jar packaging, in that, you know, I like to put on my moisturizers and humectants and things onto a wet skin, and when I get out of the shower and I'm trying to expedite, you know, I'm trying to do it quickly to seal in that water and to trap water onto my skin. And in doing so, this little bugger slipped right out of my hands and all over the floor. Has anybody else ever had that happen to you? It's like the most annoying thing ever, to be naked, wet, and like have all this goop all over your floor. It's very frustrating. So that happened to me with this, and this also happened to me with a jar of, like, my very first jar of the CosRx Snail Mucin. You guys were asking me to review that snail serum I reviewed a while ago. I got that, and like the second time I tried to use it, I dropped it. Like a pound of snail filtrate on the floor. Utter failure there. So I had to reorder it, and that's why it took me a while to get to that review, because I was a little saddened and disheartened by my dropping of it. So yeah, that's a real shortcoming of these jar packages, where you have to unscrew things. It's just, you know, functionally they're a pain. Alright, but the gel cream humectant that I use every night underneath my CeraVe moisturizing cream, love, finished up, and I'm continuing to use, is the Red Earth Deep Dive Water Cream. This has ceramide in it. The name is not apparent. I'm blanking on what it is right now, but you guys always ask me, what is the ceramide in this? This does have a ceramide in it. I will list it down below in parentheses. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. But I really like this one. This is actually my favorite of the gel creams. I also finished up another jar of the Hydalapo Skin Plumping Gel Cream. This is a hyaluronic acid gel cream humectant. You can get it at Target. You can get it at Sally Beauty Supply. You can also get it on Yes Style. People always want to know, like, which of these I prefer. Honestly, when I'm, like, if I have a blindfold on, I really can't tell the difference between any of them. I think they're all great. I like the Deep Dive one personally because of the ceramide in there. I think it just gives a little bit extra barrier kickoff than the other ones, which don't have that in them. So that's why I prefer it, but they're all great. Speaking of gel humectants, I finished up the Be Hydra Intensive Hydration Serum. You'll recall from my Drunk Elephant review that this is one of the products that I mentioned that I liked and saw a noticeable benefit when I used. I think I mentioned in that video that I would buy it again, and I will say I would buy it again if I would purchase it again if I had a gift card to Sephora and needed to buy something there. I would buy this again. It was good. I like it, and you know, I mentioned the caveats and the problems I have with it in that video, but this has ceramides in it and it has niacinamide in it, and I did notice my skin had it did have a brightening effect when I used it, so it's good. It's just so expensive, and it's not, as I said in that video, it's not enough by itself. You have to use it because it is just a humectant. It's not occlusive enough. You have to use it with a corresponding occlusive moisturizer. Yeah, my gripe with this is that they want you to pair it with other moisturizers instead of just putting it in the moisturizer, and it's like just kind of a racket to get you to buy more stuff. So I did finish up the Proteini Polypeptide Cream. You know, I enjoyed this. I didn't have a problem with it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to repurchase it. I didn't think that it offered anything substantial over CeraVe. And honestly, in comparison to the Derma E polypeptide cream that I reviewed for you guys a while back, I really didn't notice a huge difference. Because I only have one face, I gave the Derma E one to my mom, and she's been using it and loves it. So that is a great moisturizer, and honestly I don't see a difference between that one and this one aside from the price. But I did enjoy this, didn't have any problems with it, so yeah, that's donezo. As far as the other Drunk Elephant products though, I have not continued to use them with the exception of the Lippy Balm, by and large because I just it seems to always follow me around, and I don't know, I think it's just for whatever reason I developed a habit of putting it on, but I don't notice that substantial of a difference. I continue to use the CeraVe healing ointment in my skincare routine on my lips, and that for me is really what is important for keeping the skin on my lips hydrated. But I don't know, it's just kind of fun to use that Lippy Balm, whatever. So yeah, speaking of lip balms though, moving along, I finished up an Elta MD UV lip balm. Love this stuff, very moisturizing, subtle light cast that I kind of enjoy for whatever reason. I think it looks nice. Maybe that's because I'm obsessed with sunscreen. This is water resistant. Alright, and then I finished up a Color Science Total Eye 3-in-1 Renewal SPF 35. I love this stuff. This is not something I ever would have imagined myself using and liking and like needing in my life, but I'm on like my third or fourth one of these, and I haven't found anything that compares to this. So yeah, I know it's expensive, but this I really enjoy quite a bit and continue to repurchase and reuse. And I'd be interested to know though if there is an alternative to it. I know that Exuviance makes a concealer that I'd be interested to try to compare to this, and it's a little bit more affordable. I think it's like 20 bucks, I want to say. I could be mistaken on that, but I really love this and continue to use it. Likewise, I love the Color Science Unforgettable Total Protection Face Chill SPF 50. I finished this up. This is a little bit, provides slightly more coverage and kind of has a little bit more of an emollient finish to it than the Exuviance product that I'm currently using. And I like the Exuviance product that I'm currently using. It contains green tea, and it also has gluconolactone, I believe, in it, which is a polyhydroxy acid. So it's an additional humectant in the product. I find that it really hydrates up the skin quite nicely. So I'm enjoying that. But I use tinted sunscreens kind of, you know, honestly, I'm not great about reapplying them throughout the day like I am a regular sunscreen, you know, but yeah. This one is great. The Exuviance one is great. Elta MD's tinted sunscreen, those are all great. That Tizo one is great. Coats makes a great one. They're all wonderful tinted sunscreens. So yeah. Speaking of polyhydroxy acids, I finished up the pH Polyhydroxy Acid Moisture Renewal Power Cream from CosRX. I showed this in my iHerb video that I did for you guys, and I really enjoyed this. Polyhydroxy acids, like I said, serve as humectants. So they do a lot, many of the same things, or basically the same things as alpha hydroxy acids, in that they can lightly exfoliate the skin, and by and large in cosmetic products they function as humectants. They're really good humectants. Unlike most alpha hydroxy acids, though, polyhydroxy acids, they are far less irritating, far more sensitive skin friendly. So I have really enjoyed this one. It's got coconut fruit extract in it, however, which I think can be problematic for some of you out there who find that coconut derivatives, either you're allergic to them, in which case definitely avoid, or you just find that they don't work for you for whatever reason, which I can't explain, to be honest. But this was fine for me, a nice moisturizer, and did have a softening effect. It's expensive though, so I don't know that I would necessarily repurchase it for myself, but if you are motivated to try a polyhydroxy acid moisturizer, this one's actually fairly affordable. They can be a little pricey. And then I finished, of course, a tub of CeraVe moisturizing cream. I use this as my nighttime moisturizer to my face and body. But yeah, I love this. And I mean, honestly, it's like, if I didn't have this YouTube channel, I would just go on my merry way doing just CeraVe to my face, and never trying anything else, because it works well for me, and is pretty no nonsense and easy to get. So that's really my favorite head to toe moisturizer for the face and body. Because in my skincare routine, as you may have noticed, I have reduced the number. I don't wash my face twice a day, so I'm going through far fewer cleansers. I used to use a salicylic acid containing face wash in the mornings. As I explained in my skincare routine, if you want more details on why I stopped using it, I just, with the tretinoin, it became one of those things where it was not really adding anything. So I haven't really been going through cleansers that quickly. I am using CeraVe Hydrating Creamy Cleanser, as I showed in my nighttime skincare, or my skincare routine at night. I did finish up fairly early on into the season the Cozy Softimo Speedy Oil Cleanser. You guys know I use it. Currently I just use mineral oil you can buy in the drugstore in the laxative section. But I was using this and finished it up. I liked it. It has mineral oil in it, just like I buy in the laxative section to do the same thing. But it also has cyclomethicone in it, which is a moisturizer, and it contains shea butter, jojoba oil, sunflower seed oil, corn oil, glycerin, and it also has olive oil, that I mentioned that, and sesame seed oil. So a few other plant oils, but for me, the oils for cleansing, it's like, adding multiple oils doesn't really, change the outcome. Oil on the skin is going to break up sunscreen and mascara, and then you wash it off with a gentle cleanser, as I've explained in my skincare routine. This works pretty well. If I'm going to go buying a dedicated cleansing oil, my preference is the Hada Labo one. I think it's better. Questions I will get about that and this, they both contain olive oil, and you're like, well, haven't you said in your other videos that olive oil impairs the skin barrier? When it's left on the skin as a moisturizer, yes, it can increase transepidermal water loss, or has been shown to increase transepidermal water loss when pursued as a moisturizer. But I'm not pursuing it as a moisturizer in cleansing oils. I'm just using it to break up mascara and sunscreen, and then I'm washing it off. So, it's not an issue in that setting, and it's fine. Long story short, this one's pretty good, not bad. Prefer Hada Labo if I'm gonna go buying a cleansing oil, but honestly, the mineral oil that I get at the drugstore is just easier to get than ordering these online and waiting for them to come, and a lot cheaper, and it works really well for me. But I don't wear much makeup, or really any makeup, and the sunscreen, the mineral oil is sufficient to break that up, sufficient to dissolve my mascara. Just make sure when you use a cleansing oil, whatever type of oil you're using, or balm. Cleansing balms are basically the same thing as cleansing oils. They just, incorporate some additional ingredients to make them solid at room temperature, or different oils, but by and large it's the same principle. Neither one is like more magical for a certain skin type than the other. They're just oil that you put on the face, break up the crap, and then wash off. Started doing it. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. If you use a cleansing oil or cleansing balm, then make sure when you use it around your eyes, keep your eyes closed. People ask me, how do I keep it from getting in my eyes? Keep them closed. You know, just put a little on your fingers of the oil and or balm, whatever you're using. Just pat it on the eyelashes or on the eyelids, and, you know, gently just rub once over, no scrubbing or anything, and keep your eyes closed, and then keep them closed and do the second step of the gentle cleanse. That's what I do. It never gets in my eyes. You know, you just don't want to get stuff in your eyes. It's irritating. Oils, balms, soaps, etc. So yeah, that would be my tip on that. And then I also finished up Dr. Sam's Flawless Cleanser. I really enjoyed this and still do recommend it. I have been trying out her moisturizer. By the way, now that I'm out of CeraVe, I've been trying out her moisturizer while I wait for another CeraVe to come. And I will review that for you guys shortly. You've been asking for it. But I do still recommend her cleanser. It's great. It contains Poloxameter 188, which is a synthetic copolymer that has a unique structure and has been shown to help repair damaged cell membranes, and is frequently found in a lot of cosmetic products. It has a very gentle surfactant property to it. For those of us in the United States, though, Dr. Sam's cleanser is pretty expensive because you have to pay the shipping, the tax, the duties, what have you. It gets very pricey. And then last but not least, I went through a Maybelline Colossal Mascara and a half. Actually, I went through two. I'm on another one, but I don't know where that is. So I've gone through two in this past season. I try and replace these pretty frequently. So yeah, those are all of my empties. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing them all. Comment below on if you have used any of this and what your experience was using it, and what you've been using up and enjoying and going back to consistently time and time again. You guys clue me into many great products, and I'm very appreciative of that. So I hope you all are having a wonderful holiday. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm and participation in Vlogmas. It's really been a lot of fun, and I'm happy to share my skincare recs and little slices of my life with you guys. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.